Recognize the member for Burnaby North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to rise in support of this motion. Be it resolved that this House encourage economic opportunity for all British Columbians. In fact, taken at face value, this motion expresses a sentiment one would expect to hear from this side of the aisle. After all, economic opportunity for all has been our rallying cry since the 1930s. It's one of the fundamental values that unite us. It's our vision, our manifesto, our pride. Now, I have a lot that I want to say about economic opportunity for all and the kinds of decisions that create the conditions that foster it and the kinds of decisions that put it out of reach for so many. Now, I may run out of time before I get to my conclusion, so let me say up front that economic opportunity without economic equality is nothing more than economic exploitation. Economic opportunity without economic justice are simply empty words. Now, I want to give the members opposite the benefit of the doubt. We've been through a lot as a province in the past few months. The pandemic has changed us, how we relate to each other as a community of human beings. For many of us, it's strengthened our concept of what is the common good, what we owe to each other as members of the same society. The pandemic has taught us that we survive and thrive as individuals only when the whole community survives and thrives. We didn't compete with each other to be the healthiest during the pandemic. We cooperated, and so many British Columbians, frontline workers, volunteers, put themselves at risk to protect the health of the most vulnerable amongst us. Now, I would hope that what we've experienced together and the fact that this motion has been made today means that the members opposite have come to see the danger of letting the market do our thinking for us. And, Mr. Speaker, I would hope that they've had a change of heart, that the so-called, the self-described Free Enterprise Coalition has had a change of heart, and if they have, then I would like to hear them admit that their trickle-down theory didn't work. I would like to hear them admit that by cutting taxes to the rich while raising them for everyone else, that by gutting the labor code to make it near impossible for working people to band together, to support each other, to secure their share of economic opportunity, was in fact being captured by what's come to be called zombie economics, beliefs that are dead and continue to walk amongst us. I would hope that they would concede that by doubling tuition fees, cutting funding for adult basic education and English language training, dismantling skills training and apprenticeship systems, that they robbed working people of their best chance of economic opportunity and education. I'd like to hear them admit that for the 16 years they ran this province, if their goal was to create economic opportunity for all British Columbians, then they failed. Because by the time they left office, more wealth was concentrated in the hands of those at the top than at any point in our history since the 1930s. Because by the time they left office, 20% of children were living in poverty. Because the number of people relying on food banks to feed their families had doubled. Because 10% of the people living in Metro Vancouver could be classified as the working poor. They had jobs, all right, but many of them had more than one job and still didn't earn enough to make ends meet. And that's what happens when the market is free to determine social outcomes. It's humans, Mr. Speaker, who should determine social outcomes with deliberate, purposeful, proactive policies and programs and incentives. Now, I see I'm quickly running out of time, so I will say again that economic Opportunity without economic equality is nothing more than economic exploitation. Thank you very much.